What's up, guys? Stas here. So the markets are pretty interesting today. We had the S&P 500 break even. The Dow Jones went down 0.7%. Then we saw the Russell and the NASDAQ go up 0.8%. So I want to break down some technicals today, go over a bunch of stocks to buy now. And I also want to share with you guys stocks I own right now. So make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, go down below, get into the Strive Smart Discord chat, get 2 stocks from WeBull. Those are valued up to $1,600. You could also get $30 from M1 Finance. All of those are free and they're linked right down below in the description box. So let's get into it. S&P 500 today broke even pretty much, but technically speaking, it did go down about 0.06%. Exactly that, down about 2 points. And we saw a big drop at the end of the market. You guys can see it went from 29.30 down to about 39.13. We had the quadruple witching event. A bunch of things were expiring today, so maybe that ended up leading to this drop-off. But yeah, we saw a big drop-off in the last 15-20 minutes of the market, and before that, we were bouncing between the 2 major levels that I've been talking about here on the YouTube channel, between 39.30 and 39.15. Literally like clockwork. We were bouncing, holding 39.15 up to 39.30. We did that multiple times, and then as we dove again at the end of the market, we ended up dumping under 39.15. We closed at 39.13, which isn't the best if you're looking at the nitty-gritty of the technicals. I mean, it would have been nice holding above 39.15, but I guess a positive that you could point out is the S&P did hold the low from yesterday, which was at about 39.10. So I guess that is a positive sign. And when we look at the 4-hour chart and zoom in a little bit, as you guys can see here, we're right around a pretty big spot. And I mean, you saw this on the smaller time frame, 39.10. I believe if this level breaks, which did break earlier, if you guys remember, we got down to 38.90, and it looks like we held that 50 moving average at that point. But I believe we could actually test that again. I think we could go and test the low from today and maybe even break under that this upcoming week. That could very well happen, especially if we break under 39.10. So watch out for these levels on the S&P. At this point, I mean, look, the bulls are still in charge at the end of the day when it comes to this 4-hour chart. If I clear this drawing set, we're above both the 50 and the 180 moving averages. I mean, this could very well be a low point for the S&P at about 3,900 before it rips up to 4,000, 4,050. That could very well happen, guys. Be aware of that. That could really happen. And when it comes to the NASDAQ 100, you guys can see, let me show you, this went up 0.6%. And like we mentioned in this morning's video on Patreon, this is looking like an inverse head and shoulder. That is still valid. And I believe this could make a move as long as 12,780, 12,800 holds. I believe this could make a move up to 13,300, and maybe if that breaks 13,500. And a way that we could actually play this is by looking at triple Q, which goes up with the NASDAQ, right? And you guys can see that beautiful inverse head and shoulder on this ETF as well. And I mentioned this on Patreon as well. I think 315 could break. From there, we could get a move up to about 325, which is about 3 to 5% potential. If 325 breaks, it's closer to 5% potential. So watch out for the Qs, guys, QQQ, and keep an eye on that inverse head and shoulder for the NASDAQ 100. And of course, another thing to keep an eye out on is the 10-year bond yield. That spiked yesterday. We saw a big drop in the NASDAQ 100 yesterday, over 3%. Tech stocks got slammed. And today, the bond yield, the 10-year is it's still over 1.7. It's at 1.73, but it looks like it's consolidating a little bit, slowing down, relaxing for now, but I think there's a little bit more left. People are saying 2% it could get to, which is another 25 points away. So I think there could be more upside for this 10-year, and that could put a little bit more pressure on these tech stocks, on the NASDAQ 100, on QQQ, so keep that in mind. One more thing to keep an eye on is the VIX, VIX. This is also known as the volatility index, the fear index, the fear gauge, whatever you guys want to call it, right? And I've mentioned this before. This is very close to 19, 20, in this range where we've typically seen a spike in volatility over the past couple of months. If we pull back to, let's say, this 3-year chart, you guys can see we've gone under 20, so volatility could drop a bit further. But, I mean, look, the past couple of months, if we're looking at the past 6 months on this 4-hour chart, we haven't gotten under 20, so keep that in mind. We did see a little spike yesterday. We got to about 23, and volatility did build up at the end of the day. So keep that in mind. And, of course, I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And, again, guys, don't forget to join the Strive Smart Discord chat. We have over 4,000 people in there. It's 100% free. That is linked right down below in the description box. So when it comes down to my big swing positions right now, Tesla, as you guys know, is my biggest one right now. Tesla didn't do much today. In fact, it dumped to the low 600s earlier. I didn't buy more at that point. If you guys remember, my lowest price of buying it was at 610. So ideally, I'd like to buy more under 610. But it did drop today to 624, and I really like the recovery back to 650, 654 to be exact. And on the 4-hour chart, you guys can see we're right under the 660, 665 resistance, which must break. And then from there in the short term, I think maybe 700 could be a realistic target. So Tesla, I'm not jumping ship yet, guys. I'm long and strong, and I'm looking to buy more, especially if we get under 610, which again is my most recent buy price. And I want to pick up more shares under that if possible. So I'm going to be patient. Tattooed Chef, TCF is another one that I'm still in. This went down about 1.5%. So far, the inverse head and shoulder is still intact. I still think there is upside to the mid-20s, just being patient with this one. CHPT, ChargePoint, is another one, down 2%. Didn't do much today. Still being patient with this one as well. And then we have good old SLV for that silver hedge. I'm still in this. This one up 0.9%, not too shabby. And then Neo stock went up 4%, still holding this one. And man, has this been a boring stock as of late, guys. I mean, it's just been selling off and off and off. You guys can see the downtrend clearly on this 5-day, 5-minute. On the hourly chart, you can see the downtrend as well. We just need to break 47. Like I've said, 47 up to about 50. Then, if 50 breaks, I'm thinking 55 is the next big target. So those are my holdings. What are you guys holding? Let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to know. Have you been buying stocks, selling stocks? Drop a comment down below. And let's talk about now a bunch of stocks I'm watching. I have about 7, 8 today. So let's run through these very quickly. Visa, ticker symbol V. This ended up tanking today, down over 6%. And from what I was reading, this is the biggest intraday drop in some time. I forget exactly how long, but it's been a while since Visa has dropped 6% in a day, and the Dow suffered today. And as you guys can see, this could be a reason why the Dow struggled today, down 0.7%. And you can see now Visa with this $13 drop, it is down about 10% from its high. And why did it drop, you may ask? Well, the Wall Street Journal reported that the U.S. Justice Department was investigating whether or not Visa is engaging in anti-competitive practices in the debit card market. The Wall Street Journal report, citing people familiar with the matter, said the Justice Department's antitrust division was gathering information on whether Visa has limited merchants' ability to route debit card transactions over card networks that are less expensive than Visa. Oh, okay, guys, that is pretty interesting. So this investigation is underway. Visa is getting slammed in the short term. And do I have anything to say about that? I mean, what can I say at the end of the day? We have to see how things proceed here. I'm sure Visa is going to be fine. They have a ton of cash. They could battle this, no doubt about it. I'm sure they'll be just fine. And at the end of the day, when you see things like this, guys, and this very well could be a long-lasting event. I mean, I'm not brushing it under the rug or by any stretch of the imagination, but at the end of the day, when you see things like this, a lot of the time, the stock drops in the short term. There's turmoil, volatility. But if it's a strong company, good balance sheet, strong assets, right? Good brand name, which Visa, ticks all those boxes. A lot of the time, it bounces back, over time. And that drop proved to be a dip buy, and this could very well be a dip buy. I'm not looking to buy it right now. In fact, I own Mastercard, which we'll talk about in a second. But if I wasn't in Mastercard, this would be a serious consideration for me, especially if we got down to the low 190s, mid 190s. Right now we're at 206. If we dropped another $10, heck, I might still buy it even though I own Mastercard. Honestly, let's be honest. I might do that, to be honest with you guys. So, yeah, Visa, I like this dip. Yeah, there's going to be some turmoil, volatility, but the big company that it is, all the cash, I think it's going to weather the storm, and this is going to end up being a buying opportunity. Uber, UBWR, is another one I'm looking at right now. This one up 2.5%. We have a clear resistance at $60, $60.50, right around there. That's the resistance I'm looking at, and we're uptrending into that resistance. You guys can see we held a higher low today in the mid-50s. We went up 2.5%, closed above $57, and I believe, look at this, if we take the high out from a couple trading days ago, the high's at about 57.80 from the beginning of March. If we take that level out, boom, I think we're going to fill the gap to $60, $60.50, and maybe this ascending triangle plays out to the point where $60 breaks and we fill the gap to $64. So I think Uber has some good upside here from the mid-50s, high 50s to the lower mid-60s. That's where I think it could be going. Mastercard's another one, ticker symbol MA. To my knowledge, there's no lawsuit against them, but they are dropping a little bit due to Visa, because the companies are obviously competitors, and one drops, the other, it might follow. We see that in different industries. And Mastercard dropped about 3%. Very oversold on the 4-hour RSI here. Let me double check the live news. Justice Department. Yeah, they're dropping because of Visa. No doubt about it. And this 4-hour RSI is very oversold. It's at 26. And look at this oval circle, whatever, that I drew here on the 4-hour chart. This is the buy zone, right around 345, 350, right around the 180 moving average here on the 4-hour chart, right around this uptrend trend line. That is where I'm looking to add more Mastercard, maybe as a swing trade, right? I like swing trading these types of stocks, and I might even add more to my long-term position, which I believe Mastercard, my average cost, right around 300, maybe 315, so 345. I might average up. I might average up at that price. So I like Mastercard here, and granted, if it does break 345, 340, it could very well go to 335, 330, which wouldn't be so great in terms of a swing trade, but that'd be better, let's be honest, for my long-term investment account. I'd like to buy more shares at that cheaper price. So I view this as a win-win. If we hold 345, 350, we bounce up, I might be able to swing trade that. If we break this point, go to the lower 300s, I'll be able to buy shares at a cheaper price. Open Door is another one, OPEM. I like this one. Today it went up 2.7%. And take a look at that recovery. This stock went from 33 to 17, guys. It went down 50%. And then it bounced all the way from 17 back to about 30. It's trading at 27.50 to be exact. Pretty close close to 30. And now we're seeing some headwind at about $27, $28, $30 roughly, which I think if this point could break, point number one I'm looking at is $28.90, $29. That was resistance early January, early February. If 29 could break, that is where I think we're going to go to $30.50, which was the high from the end of February, end of January, also in the middle of December. And once 30.50 tests, if that breaks, then we're off to the races, mid-30s plus on open door. So watch out for these levels. Understand that we're seeing headwind here at $28, $29, $30. Understand that. And if we slowly break out of those, that is where we could see a massive leg up. Disney is another one I'm looking at, ticker symbol DIS. This one is down about $12 from its all-time high. It's trading at $191. It was at $203. It's down about 7.4%. And look at this. We're actually getting right to the support of the overall channel here on the 4-hour. We've been holding this channel pretty much all of 2021. Even at the end of 2020, we were trading in this channel. And we're also right around the 180 moving average on the 4-hour chart, right around 188, 190. And today, we actually went down $1, down 0.6%. And I'm rooting for Disney to go lower. I want it to go to 185. Even lower 180s, I'd like to pick up shares down here. But even here at 190, this could be a nibble spot if you're looking at it as a swing trade back to the mid-high 190s, low 200s. Because personally, that's where I think Disney is going. And I actually started buying this stock in my long-term account. Let me see if I could pull up my average cost. In my M1 Finance account, my average cost on Disney, wow, it's actually higher than I thought. That's probably because I've been averaging up. But I started buying at 120. Now my average cost is 150. So I'm not looking to average up at 190 necessarily, but if it gets down to 180, 175, that's probably where I'd average up in my long-term account. And I own Disney in multiple long-term accounts. And by the way, my M1 Finance portfolio update video, I've been getting a bunch of questions on that recently. That's coming out tomorrow, so make sure to be aware and stay tuned for that. That's going to be a good video. And yeah, Disney, I like it, guys. I'd like it a little bit lower to add more to my long-term account, but here at 190 as a swing trade, I'd take that. I think that's a decent risk reward. GameStop, GME, is another one. I believe their earnings are coming up. Let me double check. What day is that? On the 23rd. Wow, so that's going to be exciting. That is after market hours. And I think the technicals on GameStop look very, very bullish as long as 200 could hold. And what do you know? The past couple of days, 200 has been holding. And that was the high from back in the end of February. Also, that was resistance in the beginning of March. And we've actually held 220 pretty nicely, for the most part, over the past couple of trading days. So I think if 220 can hold, or did I say 220? I meant 200. If 200 can hold, I think there's upside potential, probably back to the mid 200s, maybe back to 300. I think that is not too crazy to say for GameStop, considering how wild of a ride it's already been. So watch out for GameStop heading into earnings. As long as 200 holds, again, there's some upside here. Apple is another one, AAPL, which you guys know, I've mentioned this before. Technically speaking, 120 is such a big level. If this breaks, expect a gap down anywhere from 115 to 113. And that's probably where I'm going to add an initial swing position. I'll add more to my long-term position there. And as it ticks under 113, if it does, if it goes to 108 from there, I'd add more money. 103, I'd add more money. And like I mentioned on Patreon this morning, if this sell-off got very bad, who knows? It could get ugly. If it somehow got to the double digits, 95, $90. I'm going to buy leaps on Apple. I'm going to load the boat on Apple with shares. That's how bullish I am if it were to get down to double digits. And I'd love to know what you guys think. Am I crazy? Am I the only one that would load the boat? Especially on those leaps, I'd buy some calls there for sure. Let me know your thoughts down below. And we'll just wrap it up there. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and join the Strive Smart Discord chat. Get 2 stocks from WeBull valued up to $1,600. All you have to do is deposit $100 using my link, and that's how you get your 2 free stocks. You could also get $30 from M1 Finance. They just brought that up. I just noticed it on my app. So it's limited time. Get your $30. All you have to do is use my link, open up an account, deposit any amount of money, and we each get $30 free. And again, all of those are free. Link down below. You could also check out my Patreon for more one-on-one access with me, buy and sell alerts, call outs, morning update videos, and exclusive content throughout the day. That is on Patreon, linked right down below. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.